we walk out there, and the Tai Chi master standing center court, and he tells us to take our shoes off. Take our shoes off, and I'm pissed because I'm ready to play basketball. And he's standing up there and says everybody closes their eyes and stuff, and he does stuff like monk gazing at moon, and talks about the fingertips and barely touching and the spirituality of all that. And I'm peeking around like.
All right, welcome back to another Kobe Chronicles After Dark edition, everyone. Hope you guys watched part 1 earlier today, and hope you guys are ready for part 2. No long intro here because, this is just a continuation of the Kobe Bryant's last great interview. And this is from Valuetainment, and this is the interview that contains, I'd say, about 50% of the classic Kobe quotes that we all know and we all see on our YouTube Shorts feeds, or if you guys watch TikTok or anything like that. This is the source. This is where it all came from, and so happy, so thankful that such a cool epic interview like this came out before Kobe's passing. So this month, I figured this would be a good way to celebrate the man, since that's what we do here on the 24th every month, is celebrate the man. And this is less basketball and more celebrating the man himself. And I think he would appreciate it, hopefully. Rest in peace, my friend. And on that note, I don't want to go down a sad trail, so let's get right into this, guys. As I always do, I'm linking the original video down below. That's going to be in the description for you if you want to check out the channel, or if you want to watch this video without my commentary, go right ahead. Everybody else, you know what to do. Please smash that like button. I appreciate you all. And let's continue the celebration, everyone. Thanks for being here with me. I look forward to this every month, by the way. The 23rd and the 24th. Always looking forward to this.
The decision, when I say decision, if you're looking at somebody that you're sizing up, or if you're looking at somebody to go into business with, or if you're looking at a big investments you got to make, what is the decision-making process there? Do you call? First you do your own research, you take this much time, you call an advisor? Is there a system you follow?
It's pretty simple for me. It's do you understand the business? Is it a business that you can help in some form or fashion? What are the barriers of entry to that business? And then the entrepreneurs themselves, the company itself, right? Do they have a culture that you believe is sustainable? Are these leaders people that you believe in? Are they people that are obsessives? And in turn, have they created a culture of obsessiveness? So I tend to look at those 4 factors, and that's it.
That's big right there, by the way. I don't know if you guys caught that right there. That's pretty massive right there.
It really is.
Earlier you said, I'm probably not going to get this right, a 16-year-old, a 13 or 11-year-old?
Yeah, 13. 16, 13, 2, and 1 that's a month.
1 that's a month, by the way, right? 1 that's a month.
All girls.
All girls, 4 4
4. It's a girl dad.
So 16 means you're in your 5th, 6th year having a baby?
Yeah.
Is it something like that, right? Give or take. What was the conversation like with your wife to say, listen, this is the schedule? Because look, some entrepreneurs, they're coming home at night and late, oh my gosh, my wife is upset because I came home at 11:30.
Yeah.
Oh my
100%.
goodness, what a sacrifice I'm making. This life's, I don't know if I can do this.
Sure.
You're on the road 9 months out of the year. If you especially play the Olympics, you won 2 gold medals, so you're doing that on the off season and you're trying to get that part going and training for doing your camps. What is the conversational life like with your wife and kids to say, listen, this is what I'm doing? How did that conversation go?
That's a good question.
Well, with the kids, it's different. So the communication with our children is that, Pops is working hard. This is the level of attention to detail you need to have in everything you do. So it's setting the example. Same thing with my wife. My wife's a stay-at-home wife. It's the hardest job, man. Right? So she works really hard at that. I mean, it's, and so her attention to detail with that as well are examples for our children. And then for my wife, it's, she's as competitive as I am. So she's like, listen, man, if you're going to be out here training 8 hours a day, if you're going to spend 9 months out of the year away from your family, you better fucking win the championship. What are we doing this for?
That's true.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
That's so cool.
You know, but it's a balancing act, and that's the thing that's important is understanding that we have to have so much energy. Because for like Natalia and Gianna when they were babies, especially Natalia because she was doing prime years, and I go to practice and I'd train and you know I'd play the game and you know I'd come home and I'd be sore and I'd be tired, and she wants to go swimming, she wants me to take her to the park, she wants to just jump on my back or whatever the case may be. You can't say I'm too tired, I'm going to lay down. That's not fair. She don't know what the hell's going on, right? And if this was a game, you'd suck it up and play. I play games with the flu. I play games with 102-degree fever, man.
Powerful.
You can't do that.
That is so powerful.
Yeah.
Man.
You got to be on, man.
That is very powerful because I'm sure most of us can relate to that on both ends of it at this point, you know, from being children and wondering why like we're getting neglected or whatever. But it's no kid will understand that. And that's the thing. Most kids don't get that understanding of the perspective of their parents until they become older and they go, oh, so this is how you felt after working on your feet for 12 hours a day, you know, and then you come home and we're all being crazy, you know, we're all full, you're all super hyper energy and you can't match that energy and you just come off as like grumpy and mean. Now it makes sense, you know, but to be able to push through that, that's awesome by Kobe. That really is.
Big. Did you guys? Would you sit at the because you're obviously very detailed. Your show. I mean, you're a very very detailed guy. Would you guys have a meeting? Like I sit there and say, okay, if I'm thinking like Kobe, let's just say Kobe's trying to schedule out his year. Season's about to start. Would you sit with her and say, okay, babe, this is the schedule next 12 months. Tell me about birthdays. Tell me about this.
Yes.
Is that what you guys do?
Yeah, I look at it and say, okay, birthdays, what am I missing? Valentine's Day, Halloween, Christmas, you know, Easter, like all that fun stuff. I look at the schedule and see what I'm there for, what I'm not there for. Christmas, is it a road game or a home game this year? And then we make a family decision. It's family travel. Do I come back? Like sometimes I'd fly back. Like I'd play a game and to not miss my daughter's birthday, I'd fly back, be there for her birthday, and then fly back with the team, you know, just to make sure I don't miss anything.
Respect. What's the least amount of sleep you played a game on?
0.
No sleep.
Is there a story where it's like, you know, no one knows about where you went and played a game and it was so insane for whatever reasons?
No sleep.
You played a game with no sleep.
0 sleep.
Come on now. Who out there hasn't gone to school with no sleep or done a full work at shift or I'm sorry, a full shift at work with no sleep? We've all done this.
0 sleep. It's like, you know, kids, you know, Natalia had a certain, you know, health situation or what have you, and you're staying up all night, and then you got to go out and perform because fans don't know, you know, the teammates don't know, nor do they care, nor should
it's entertainment.
That you've been up all night. You got to perform, right? And so you just got to go to work, man.
That's respect.
That's it.
Respect. And I think one of the things for some, if you follow basketball or not, that you and Mike had in common is that it wasn't, hey, I'm going to take 8 games off this year to try to stay healthy. The mindset of going, you know, like that to you is comical, right, to do that.
What the hell is that, man? I don't know what that is. That's crazy. Seriously, it's crazy. Like, you know, you got a lot of people paying their hard-earned money to come watch you perform. Perform. It's your job to be in shape. It's your job to be strong enough to perform at that level every single night. And as a competitor, I'm not ducking shit. Like, it's not, oh my God, my back hurts, I'm sore, we got to play Vince Carter and Toronto Raptors tonight. We actually had this happen. We had a game against Toronto.
Before he goes into it and I forget, let me just remind everyone, LeBron James at the very last minute did not participate in the All-Star game. People pay high dollar for that, okay? There's 2 things that piss me off about that. One, he didn't perform. See, there's 3 things. 2, the reason he didn't was ankle discomfort, not an injury. My ankle's feeling a little uncomfortable. He couldn't suit up for like 2 minutes and then get subbed out just to show up. So that's 2. 3, Anthony Davis, Luka Doncic, they both left plenty of notice for the league to substitute them. So they were no longer all-stars. They substituted them with backup all-stars. So that opened up an opportunity for more people to come in and enjoy the experience, right? LeBron, he didn't announce it until the day of. So on Sunday for the All-Star game. So he basically just wasted a roster spot. So he screwed over a potential All-Star from getting to perform. 1, 2, he screwed over the fans who paid thousands of dollars for those tickets. Kobe's just different, it's just different. And I appreciate a guy who was, I've gone to a Lakers game, Lakers versus Suns, and I knew without a doubt in my mind, I'm going to see Nash, I'm going to see Kobe, I'm going to see Amari, I'm going to see the Matrix. All these guys are going to suit up. I don't have to worry about it. Nowadays, it's a gamble. You pay for a ticket, and you have no idea who you're going to see out there. All the stars might be sitting for all we know. But I appreciated that from Kobe, MJ, guys like that. They suit up every night. Doesn't matter if you're feeling good or not. We paid for a ticket. We expect the show.
In 2000, and Vince was tearing the league up. My back was jacked. But like the perception of that, like what? Kobe's missing the game against Toronto and Vince Carter because my back was really
that's what we
spasming.
see LeBron do all the time now is ducking games against a marquee player. He does it all the time. He ducks out on the matchup.
But people will be like, what? Oh, he's ducking Vince.
Straight up.
Excuse
That's
me?
how he used to.
No, I don't
That's how
think
he used
so.
to talk.
So I would be in the layup line like, okay, there's a lot of days where you can rest and recover. Today ain't one of them. Your back can bother you any other day. That shit ain't bothering me today. He gonna have to see me today. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
He was another one that came in. You thought for sure, he was gonna be one of the in a whole different league when he came in. Obviously, he just I don't know what his vertical leap is. 46, 47. It's out of this world what he does.
Best dunker I've
Agreed.
ever seen.
Insanity is,
dude.
Vinsanity is why they call him that. So
Crazy.
You're an alpha. You have a very strong personality, extremely strong personality. And then you got a team with Shaq, and then you got a team with Phil Jackson, and you guys are all working together. How was it taking coaching from an alpha and you're an alpha? And was there a progression of you finally understanding him or him understanding you? What did that look like, the relation between you and Phil?
No, at first it was rocky, but I didn't understand it was rocky. And let me elaborate. I was extremely naive. And with Phil and his genius, his responsibility was to get the team to a place to win titles. It wasn't to appease one player. It wasn't to look out for this player. It was to get the collective whole to win a championship. So he would do whatever it took to make sure that happened. He would see the friction between myself and Shaquille and say, okay, how can I use that? All right, I know Kobe has a passion to play, so come hell or high water, doesn't matter what's going on in his personal life, doesn't matter what's happening here with the team, he's gonna show up and perform no matter what. Shaq is more emotional. If something's going on, he won't. So therefore, I gotta figure out how to create a wedge between myself and Kobe because then that brings me closer to Shaquille. And then that helps me better manage Shaq. So that was his ability to manage the team, which was absolutely brilliant. I used to tell him all the time, I said, Phil, look, I know what you're doing, bro. Like, don't insult my intelligence. I know you're being a dick to me on purpose. Like, just, tell me. No? Okay, you're gonna stay with it? All right, cool. All right.
How's your relationship till today? I mean, you guys won 5
It's like a father figure.
Really?
Yeah, it feels like a father figure, man.
So when you were hearing
they used to go fly fishing and stuff all the time. Yeah, it's so cool. Kobe ended up, the life Kobe created for himself. Like he's got Jordan as the big brother, he's got Phil as the father figure. Man, he's getting mentored by like Jerry West and Magic Johnson and all these guys. Like what? Damn, dude.
Experts saying what they were saying, commentators saying what they were saying about Phil. How were you taking that when they were saying what they were saying about him when he was at the Knicks?
I thought it was funny. I told Phil, I said, Phil, this is all just karma for writing literally 3 books about me. This is your karma.
You told him
I
that?
did tell him that. It was just all in good fun. But I was upset because people don't understand him. And he is a genius in every sense of the word. And how he sees the game, how he sees the spirituality of the game. And people don't understand that. And worse than that, they're intimidated by that. And even worse, they try to discredit that because they do not have the level of passion and obsessiveness to get to that level. So they figure the best thing to do is to tear that level down. That's fucked up.
I'm with you. They're 100%, by the way.
Yeah, Shaq discredits it a lot too. Yeah, and then you've got guys like LeBron got to play for Spo. Tried to get him fired, but it's the same thing I've always said. If LeBron, because LeBron fans will say, "Well, he never had a coach like Phil." Well, he never had a coach like Phil because he never let a coach stick around and let a coach coach. So there's a difference. If you allow yourself to be coachable, then the coach gets an opportunity to become one of the greatest coaches of all time. We can say that about Spo now. He's one of the greatest we've ever seen. But at the time, we didn't know. But he tried to get him fired. Guys like MJ and Kobe, they embraced Phil. They embraced what he was doing. And they said, okay, let's give him a shot. Let's actually get on board and see where this takes us. And look what it did. A total of 11 rings between the two of them, or the three of them. And the relationship continued on forever. Phil is still in Jordan's life. He was a father figure to Kobe all the way to the end. Come on, man. And if you respect the past like Kobe did, Kobe respected Jordan and Magic and Jerry West and all these guys so much, Larry Bird, that he was soaking up all the advice from them. Instead of pretending like he was better than them, he was learning from them. That's why he ended up being so great.
Obviously, he had a lot of interesting rituals. You would hear about the yoga. You would hear about all the stuff that he would do. What is the weirdest thing he did with you in practice that you're like, what the hell are we doing here?
He had a Tai Chi master come to practice. And we walk out there and, the Tai Chi master standing in center court and he tells us to take our shoes off. We take our shoes off, and I'm pissed because I'm ready to play basketball. And he's standing up there and says everybody closes their eyes and stuff, and he does stuff like monk gazing at moon and talks about the fingertips and barely touching and the spirituality of all that. And I'm peeking around like, is everybody doing this shit? Like, what the hell's going on? And there, and big ass Phil's there doing it himself. He's like, he's doing this whole, doing all this stuff, And I'm like, damn. Okay, I'm gonna try
gotta
it.
embrace it.
But honestly, I bought into it. I bought into the meditation. I bought into the deeper connection that exists within the game. And so when you watch our teams, or you watch any of Phil's teams, or Chicago teams, Game 6 against Utah, you watch our games, Game 7 against Boston, we were never rattled, ever. Because we're always in the moment, always in the present, always extremely calm, always looking at the reality of the situation and not letting our emotions cloud our execution. And that comes from being in that meditative state that he would teach and preach from day one.
Mindfulness, true mindfulness.
Would he take you back?
I know a lot of people laugh at something like Tai Chi, but no, man. If you want to understand how to be present, in the moment, true mindfulness, that's a good avenue to do it. Straight up meditation is a good way as well. It's something I've incorporated in my life from a very young age, thanks to my mother. I used to meditate through pain. If I was going through some kind of operation, or I was, I had an injury, something like that, that's how I first learned how to meditate. And then as I got older, I learned how to meditate to keep the noise out. Mostly my own internal thoughts, which, a lot of you probably know can be your worst enemy. Excuse me. And I used to use meditation for that purpose, keep straightening my thoughts out, to realign my focus on what's in front of me in the real world instead of all this crap that I'm making up in my own head to sabotage myself. So yeah, it's no joke. If you guys haven't tried meditating, I would start there. It's great. It's something I incorporate into my daily life.
Back, would he take you back and say you had a terrible game and it was, the season prior? Would he take you back and say, we're going to watch this game. It was the worst loss we had. It was absolutely embarrassing for you to kind of see what things you did to improve. Was he that kind of
No.
It was more about fundamentals and improving the game.
Move on. He was very hands-off, right? In the sense of he allowed players to develop. He would allow you to find your truth and then go after it. And he was there to simply guide you along that journey, which I actually learned from him, and that's how I parent. And that's how I coach my daughter's team now. So that's why I say he's a father figure, because I've learned so much from him as a coach that I take as a father, as a husband, and as a coach myself. But he's very observant.
Was he a better one-on-one or one-on-few? Like one-on-one versus one-on-12? Like if I'm having a team meeting and I'm talking to guys to rally them or calm them down, or it's okay strategy, or was he very good one-on-one, just you and closed doors?
Yes, great conversationalist, but hated confrontation.
He hated confrontation.
Direct confrontation is not his thing. Doesn't do it. Never did well with it. Had a lot to do with how he grew up and his brother, his siblings, and father, and so forth and so on. Hates direct confrontation, and he knew that about himself. So that's why a lot of his challenges were indirect. He went to the media with things, so he's very indirect. He would never challenge a player directly. He didn't like that.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
He said one time you guys had a meeting and he sat you down and Shaq down and he says, listen, I know you guys think you're alpha. I'm a bigger alpha than the both of you guys. Did that ever take place?
Not really.
Not
no,
okay.
it was more like, he would say it in film sessions, not with me and Shaq. Like, he never sat me and Shaq down. Like him, me, and Shaq.
Which is crazy to me. That's crazy to me. With all those problems they had, they never had a situation. Because honestly, I would do that, but I'm not saying I know I'm better than Phil, obviously. He knew what he was doing. But that would have been, after the first couple of months of this tension, that would have been my go-to. Hey, 3 of us in a room. I'm the mediator. You guys got to hash your crap out. I'm here just to guide you guys along this conversation. We got to come to some kind of understanding here, because you guys are the stars of the team. But he never did it. Wow. Crazy to know.
Never
No,
said
God, no. You kidding?
Why wouldn't he, though? Is it the confrontation?
I'm sure it'd be a little terrifying for him. I mean, Phil, you've ever seen Phil walk? I mean, Phil, he's got like one good hip on like the best day of his life.
Hey, he got a hip replacement. I heard now.
It's like if some shit goes down, he's doing nothing to break that up.
We need a security guard in there.
So I'm assuming it's a little intimidating. But what he would do is he would do things indirect. And it wasn't about calming the waters. It was about stirring up the waters and creating a storm that eventually would lead this broken ship to the shore it was trying to get to in the first place.
So was he constantly instigating and steering in his own way?
That's what he was doing, man. So, like, if you ever seen the movie Moana, if anybody has kids here, I'm sure you've seen Moana. Right? When she goes out and all of a sudden there's a storm and she loses her mind, thinks everything is lost, and all of a sudden she wakes up and she's right where she was supposed to be, that's Phil.
Wow, that's a great example. Great example. So we're coming out to the last 50 minutes. I got a list of questions that I'm not going to get to, but I do want to ask a couple of these. You're playing against the Golden State Warriors. Score is 107-109. You guys are close to getting into the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
You know exactly what happens in the game. You go up, you're about to take your shot, and then all of a sudden, boom, Achilles happens, right? Friend of mine, Nima.
By the way, if you've ever dealt with something like that, you'll never forget that sound. It's a straight up pop, and then you go down. It happened in my calf, not in my Achilles. Same sensation. In fact, I wasn't sure which one it was when it happened. I went down, just straight down, and all I heard was a pop, like someone, I don't know, like someone threw a rock at like someone threw a rock at you. That's all I could say. It felt like that. I was like, oh, and you just go straight down.
here just to listen to. He played ball. And he told me, he says, Patrick, I don't think you understand. He says, when I tore my Achilles in high school, he says, 4 friends of mine dragged me to my hospital. I was crying from there straight to the hospital. He says, I have no clue how the hell this guy did it.
All right, to give myself a little bit of credit, I didn't know how bad the damage was when it happened to me. I continued to hang out with my friends who were playing. I sat on the sideline. I was like getting up and walking around, thinking like, okay, maybe this is like fixable. You know, I tried to ice it. You know, it was winter, so I was icing it on the concrete, and I was like, oh man. Eventually, I did. You know, it was time to leave for all of us. I walked back to the car. It was like a 10-minute walk. I allowed my friends to kind of give me a shoulder, but I'm stubborn as hell too. No one picked me up. I had to drive myself home. It was like a 20-minute drive, and it was my right leg, and that's the gas leg, the gas and brake leg. Oh man, what a terrible time. That sucked, dude. But Kobe went out there and iced 2 free throws, and then he continued to walk himself off the court. It was kind of an inspiration for me when that shit happened to me. It's crazy. But yeah, most people, they would get carried off. But I'm not going to lie. If I had the choice, if somebody could have carried me home, I probably would have taken the offer because that hurt.
Free throws, and then you walked off the stage.
Yeah.
And then you got the surgery done.
He's crazy, man.
Yeah.
How the hell do you tolerate that kind of pain?
You know, I use this. I tell this
Meditation
example,
helps.
and I think this is the best way to explain
helps.
it. You know, you have a hamstring injury. You pull your hamstring really, really badly. You can barely walk, right? Let alone play anything. Soccer, basketball, volleyball, whatever it is. Can't do anything. Doctor tells you go home, sit up on the couch, rest your hammy, right? Stay off of it. Don't get up. No sudden movements. You're at home. All of a sudden, a fire breaks out in the home, right? Your kids are upstairs. You know, wife is wherever she may be. You know, shit's going down, right? I'm willing to bet that you're going to forget about your hamstring. You're going to sprint upstairs. You're going to grab your kids. You'll make sure your wife's good. You're getting out of that house, right? Hamstring be damned. You're not going to feel your hamstring.
Nope.
Right? And the reason is because the lives of your family are more important than the injury of your hamstring.
The temporary pain.
And so when the game is more important than the injury itself, you don't feel that damn injury. Not at that time. Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
So you go to the locker room. You guys had a shot that, you know, to go into the. You guys were a team that no one wanted to face, even though there was conflict. You know, maybe if you would have gone round 1, who knows? Maybe Dwight would have gone together. You know, who knows what was going to happen?
Sure.
It's just you were the kind of team that, look, it's just a pain in about to face these guys. We're just hoping you don't make the playoffs, right? I'm sure a lot of people were very happy that you guys didn't make the playoffs that year. But you go into the locker room, and then one of the reporters comes up to you, and he says to you, Kobe, are you convinced that they told you it's probably torn Achilles? They're going to do an MRI. Are you pretty convinced that's what it is? And your answer is yeah. Then one of the reporters says, but if anyone is going to get through this, it's probably you, right? You put your head down and you say, oh man, shit, right? And you have tears in your eyes.
Yeah.
Did you say, oh man, shit, because everybody's expecting me to be invincible, man? Like, freaking let me just play the damn game. I'm a human being. Is that kind of what you were thinking? Or was it like, the world's expect me to come back in the next month because I'm Kobe? Like, what were you thinking in that moment with all that pressure?
I was thinking, like, I don't know if I can do this. Dude,
Wow.
Achilles were like the kiss of death for athletes. Like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know. There's so many factors. There's the surgery that has to take place. The surgery has to go well, right? And then just, it's a tendon. I'm not dealing with anything that's muscular or things that I can control. I can't control a tendon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
how do
like,
you strengthen it?
No. And then thinking about what that process of recovery is going to look like. It's a long one. Do I want to do that shit? I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know. So that was the hardest part.
Yeah, and to be fair, at that point, he already had 5 championships. I get it. To have that mindset of like, I don't know if I want to go through that grind. And yeah, big difference between his Achilles and my calf is the recovery process, because it's a muscle. The muscle does repair over time. But an Achilles tear, I don't know, man. I don't know. We all pinch our Achilles in the back of our heels, and it's like that goes. I don't know.
Don't know if you want to do it, or you don't know if you are going to be able to come back from it.
Both.
Oh,
like,
both
I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I want to do it.
Got it.
I mean, it's a long process. But like when I went in the trainer's room, my kids are in there, and they're looking at you and stuff, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, it's all right. Dad's gonna be all right. It'll be fine. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. As a parent, you gotta set the example. You gotta set the example. This is another obstacle. This obstacle cannot define me. It's not going to cripple me. It's not going to be responsible for me stepping away for the game that I love. I'm going to step away on my own terms. And that's when the decision was made that, you know what? I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Yes, sir.
You're a freaking beast, bro.
I respect the hell out of him for doing it too.
I notice a lot of times you go and you talk about like even the example you use right now. If your hamstrings are this, you're down, your wife's upstairs, your kids, you ain't gonna think about it. So did you have a lot of these scenarios where you use your wife and your kids to use as no excuse, I'm gonna get through this? Was that a mental conversation you had that nobody could hear?
Yeah, you gotta lead by example. As parents, you gotta lead by example. If you want your kids to do whatever it is they want to accomplish in life, you have to show them. You can't.
Talk is cheap.
You got to show them. And that's what I tried to do.
And you're obviously doing that, man, at a whole different level.
That's right.
Alter ego. Let's do alter ego, and then I want to kind of go into the story side and how you went into the storytelling. And you went and get guys, this guy won an Academy Award. He's a basketball player. How the hell does that make any sense, right? Wins a freaking Academy Award,
and it was a great short.
So, alter ego. Alter ego. Sometimes we are so worried about what other people think about us. It's like, oh my gosh, what if they think I'm crazy? What if they think I'm over obsessive or competitive? And what if this is like, you're too much. This is just not healthy for you to be thinking this way, right?
Yeah.
How did you get your mindset into this alter ego to be comfortable being Black Mamba? Like, how did that happen?
It's a good separation for me, emotionally, to be able to put myself in a place where at practice or when I'm training or during games, I switch my mind to something else. I switch my mode into something else, right? For me, it's the equivalent of Maximus, Decimus, Meridius, and Gladiator picking up the dirt, smelling the dirt. It's go time.
Damn.
Right? So that was my mental switch. It was like an actor getting ready for a film. You got to put yourself in that cage. When you're in that cage, you are that character. And then when you leave there, it's something completely different. But when I'm in that cage, bro, don't fucking touch me. Don't talk to me. Just leave me alone. There used to be certain games, for certain key games. I don't think I've ever said this before. This kind of makes me seem very psychotic, but whatever. I used to play the Halloween theme song over and over and over in my headphones.
That is psycho.
Seriously.
That is crazy.
Seriously. And it was important that it was Michael Myers because the mask itself was void of emotion. Void of emotion. It has nothing to do with pressure, it has nothing to do with hype, has nothing to do with camaraderie. It's stone cold killer. And I would listen to that song over and over and over to get that's when you know you better run, because
that's what a lot of people did.
Yeah, it's
like coming out.
It's going to be a tough night.
Yeah. By the way, real quick, to speak on all of what he just talked about there, except for the psycho stuff, if you guys haven't watched a documentary from Spike Lee called Kobe Doing Work, I did a reaction to that a while ago. I can't remember if it got blocked eventually. I think it's still out there. But either way, just look it up. Kobe Doing Work. It'll show you a game, like everything, all the behind the scenes stuff, him in the locker room, him playing against San Antonio, which was a cool situation. But you get all the behind the scenes stuff. You get to hear what he's saying, what he's going throughout the night, and then the locker room afterwards. And then the very end of it is seeing him with his family after the game. They're gonna go home, and he switches gears exactly how he says. And it's cool to hear him say it because it does line up exactly with what I saw personally, which is once his kids are around, he goes into dad mode, and the game's over, the workday is done, and He's got the girls like on his shoulders and stuff, and it is so damn cool.
Kobe, you've probably made in this 50-minute conversation, I don't know, 12 metaphors. So typically people that make metaphors, they're storytellers. To them, everything
And
has to paint a picture. And from the day one, you're talking about you were very curious, right? So when you finished the last game you had, and I'll never forget, we were having a training, by the way, in Dallas, and we finished it. This was 3 years ago, and my sister and I get home. It's 12:30. I was hoping I could catch the game. It's your last game. You're playing Utah.
Yeah.
And I'm standing up the entire time. I'm getting the last 4 minutes, which is the best freaking 4 minutes. And I see you, Shaq, saying, go for 50, and then you're just going. And you're not hitting easy shots. These are not easy shots.
Right.
You hit your last shot. You scored 6. Guys, nobody has ever had a 60-point game to retire.
Yeah, no
with.
kidding.
That has never happened. Like,
No.
it's insane for this to
You would
happen.
have expected it to be Jordan who did it, but no, man. He only had like, I think 18 points or something in his final game. Kobe went out there and shot for the moon.
Your 60 point. I got to say this. My sister's in the room. Kobe, I got tears coming down and watching you when this happens because 20 years I've been following this guy, and I relate to you because in the insurance world, I take a lot of your similarity. You may be in a completely different world. I'm looking at the world here, and it's just like seeing this guy. He's so freaking determined to say, I came and gave everything I had, and I'm going to give it till the last freaking second. That's what you did. But then you leave, and you're like, no, it's good. I'm cool. You tell your story. You give your message. Everybody's flipping out. You're like, no, Kobe's going to come back. No. Kobe, and then you go into your storytelling, all this stuff. How did that disconnect and going into that go? And you're still helping out a lot of players. You're always advising Laker. You know, Jeannie calls you. Anybody calls you, you're helping out, no problem.
I just had a realization, too. I think that's when it really went downhill for Jeannie. Jeannie had two... Wow. Sorry, quick tangent. Jeannie had two... A lot of people hate on Jeannie, guys. And I'm not really so down with it. I hate on Jim, her brother, a lot. So I get it. Jeannie had two people she really trusted left because her father was gone. She had Kobe and she had Magic. Well, she lost Kobe, and then she tried to get closer with Magic as far as like, because they were like a brother and sister. So she had Magic come in, but then it got eaten out. Not eaten out. That's a hey yo. No, but seriously, the whole Rob Pelinka thing. You know, Rob Pelinka pushed Magic out, and now for the last 4 years or so, she's been stuck with no one she trusts. She had LeBron James as the star, Rob Pelinka, who's a snake himself. So she's surrounded by snakes, and she doesn't have anyone to really turn to. I hope someday Magic can get involved and Rob Pelinka goes, because I think that would be the best for the Bus family, which is what I think is the best for the Lakers, because the Lakers are the Bus family, you know? Anyway, so it was just a realization I had, because it's not just that she lost Magic, she lost Kobe at the same time. And those were the two shoulders she could lean on, that she could trust, that never did harm to her. Now she's got Rob Pelinka and LeBron James, who are using her to the last. Anyways, that's sorry for the tantrum. Damn.
But how did that adjustment go from there to all of a sudden, man, I got to go tell stories?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Because I love it. So, you know, it started for me again in high school when I started learning about storytelling, writing, how to structure a story, how to put together, how to thread together a narrative that has a bigger message, how to create compelling characters, how to take some of the emotions from my
Guys,
own
if you
journey.
haven't seen Dare Basketball, do it. It's a short. It's very short. If you don't cry after watching that, I don't know what you're made of.
Build them into characters that inspire or teach the next generation. Therefore, they can avoid some of the pitfalls and landmines that I had to go through. Right? That's something I'm extremely passionate about. So I loved it. So it wasn't a matter of, man, I got to put this aside. I got to move on to something else. I was excited. So, man, I can't wait to get started. I can't wait to move on and do something else. And everybody kept saying, man, like, my wife asked me one time, we were filling out a form for school, and it said, all right, father, occupation. She's like, What am I supposed to put down? You know, I don't know, storyteller. You want me to write storyteller on your kid's form?
Wow.
He goes, yeah, I guess. I mean, that's what I'm doing.
You can say occupation,
dude,
rich. Rich and retired.
Really? All right, fine, just put producer, I don't know, right? But during that year, everybody kept coming up to me and saying, okay, you're gonna have stages of grief when you retire. You're gonna go into a state of depression when you retire. And those are all normal and all this other stuff. And I'm like, dude, I'm fine. Yes, of course you would say that. I said that too. I'm like, dude, fuck, man. And so after a while, I just started listening, like, oh, yeah. And, you know, and then my competitiveness inside was like, no, I'm gonna do something in the next 20 years that is better than these last 20. You might not understand that. I'm doing that, you know? So the competitiveness kicks in.
Can you guys see now why this interview was a turning point in my life? Okay, 2019, I was in the ditches. I was at the lowest point of my life. I'd accomplished a lot leading up to that point, but I had a couple of bad years leading up to 2019. Found myself at the bottom. I watched this interview, and I used to hate Kobe Bryant, by the way, because I'm a Suns fan, and we all hated Kobe Bryant. But I sat down, I watched this, and it was like a fire got lit right in my ass. You know, I woke up. I realized it's time for the next chapter in life, and I haven't looked back since. And the amount of positive things that have happened in my life throughout the darkest time in like the history I can remember in my life, like what's going on outside of my own little world, you know, with the pandemic and all the stuff going on and the economic crisis and all this stuff that's out of my control, I just started focusing on what's in my control because of this freaking interview, and it changed my life. I'd be willing to say this interview saved my life, and that's why it's such a big deal, and I've been wanting to react to this for so long. Thank you, Kobe Bryant. Thank you so much. I'm still here. I'm still kicking it, and you have a huge part in that. Steve Vai also has a huge part in that.
You've gone. Same determination. What's your current work schedule look like today?
It's different because I personally am not writing every word of the novels. I am not animating the films. What I have to do now is make sure that the people that we bring in, these obsessives that we bring in, are challenging themselves to do the best job that they think they can do. That's what I'm there for, is for them to constantly look in the mirror and self-assess and challenge themselves. If we have a project and you're saying, okay, I can do that, that's not the project we want. The projects that say, I don't know if I can animate that. I don't know how to write that story. I don't know how to do that. Those are the things we want, because through that curiosity, you'll reach a level that you didn't think was possible. And so running the studio, that's what I'm doing.
So instead of somebody who can just go in and dial it in, easy job, they're going to suffer from creativity because they're not pushing the envelope. And so you take somebody who's curious about it, who's not sure they can accomplish it, then they're going to have to find a creative path in order to get there. I missed that the first time. That is a very interesting perspective, Kobe. I get it, though.
Are you a big movie guy?
That'll either lead to a collapse or the greatest thing we've ever seen. It reminds me of like the original Star Wars movie. Like that was heading for either doom or what it ended up being, which is like it blew the doors off everything, and no one ever seen anything that great and that crazy before, and it's lived on for how many years? That was in 1977. And Star Wars is still incredibly relevant. Screw you, Disney, for making it less relevant. Anyways, but no, it's like a do or die situation. I'm gonna punch through with the creativity, and we're gonna accomplish this, or else we're gonna sink. It's a risky way to live, and a risky way for Kobe to run a company. But I respect the hell out of it because that's how innovation happens.
Okay, so how do you watch movies? Like, my experience is people watch movies in many different ways. Not everybody watches movies the same way. When you're watching movies, how are you watching a movie?
I watch them multiple times, and I wear different hats every time. So the first time I watch it just as a fan for pure entertainment value. Then I watch it from the director's lens and see why he made some of the decisions or she made some of the decisions that she made for the film. And then I look at the lighting.
Lighting?
Oh, yeah.
Like
Lighting's extremely important.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Then
I listen to the music. And then you can challenge yourself by really understanding the director's point of view if you watch a film without music and without sound.
Oh, yeah.
Then you can actually see the film for what it is. So I watch it at different stages.
I mean, obviously, Academy Awards that you won, the gentleman you hired for the sound, wasn't it
John
John?
Williams. Speaking
John
of Star
Williams.
Wars, John Williams did the music for it, for Dear Basketball. A definite must-watch, guys. Definitely a must-watch. It'll take five minutes out of your life.
Right, and John Williams is like the GOAT in his
he is the
world.
GOAT.
Bro, he's the modern day Beethoven.
Yeah.
And this guy's composed any song right now that you can remember from a film, he's done. Superman theme, did that.
Yes, sir.
Indiana Jones, did that. Jaws, did that. Harry Potter, did that. The Olympics theme, did that too.
I didn't know about the
list goes
Olympics.
on.
It's so funny. He's done so much that he doesn't even bring up Star Wars. Like he did all 9 Star Wars films, I do believe.
On and on and on and on. And, he's like 85 years old. That's
Yeah, he's retired now, I think.
That's crazy. That's
he's
pure
he's
passion.
doing the new
There it
Star
is.
Wars film now. Oh, Star Wars
Yeah.
too, that part. He did that one too. Yeah.
Didn't he do Jurassic
So
Park as
when you-
well? I'm 99% sure John Williams did na 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 na. Yeah, I think that was John Williams as well. He's responsible for like the soundtrack of my life.
Say recruiting
My
and putting your team
childhood.
together with your projects today, who are you recruiting? Like, if you're putting a basketball team together, you need a GM, president, trainers, all this stuff, assistant, good coach. What do you need right now when you put
Like, for example, right now, building out an animation house, right? So you got to start with the head of the snake. You got to look at the person that's better understands the type of animation that you want to create. And they have to be obsessives, have to have a knowledge base, a historical knowledge base, because I love people that understand the history of their industry, ins and outs of it all. And then you bring that person into the picture, and then you allow them to do what you brought them in to do.
So you leave them alone, kind of like Phil left you guys alone to do.
I'm not going to hire you to tell you how to do your job.
Got it. So recruiting, obviously in the league, you were known as a great recruiter. So what is your recruiting approach? So if you're sitting down with me, I'm somebody you really want me on the team. What's your approach to recruit me?
You want first place, come play with me. You want second place, go somewhere else.
That works.
This is too much fun here.
That works in basketball too, though. You want to win? Well, come on board. I'm trying to win. Do you want to just go out and get paid and have fun? All right, go somewhere else, man.
Final thoughts, man. What are we going to see with Kobe next 20 years? What other
This
projects
is
you got in
big.
mind that you're working on right now?
The biggest challenge for us is looking at the entertainment industry and how to diversify it, particularly in animation, but also in writing and young YA novels, middle grade novels, how to create more diverse characters, how do we have better representation, how do we create better opportunities, not just ethnicity, but also gender diversity. I have 4 girls, right? So my mission is to make sure women have opportunities that they haven't been afforded. That is I'm the father of 4 girls. So that is my next obsession, is how do we lead that charge from the front? How do we take an animation industry that lacks in diversity, substantially lacks in diversity? How do we take some of those old animation techniques and teach a whole new generation of animators to come in and create films that inspire the world? And we're getting after
Kobe
it.
was a huge advocate for the WNBA as well. And I believe the WNBA is going to miss his presence. I think it already has. Thanks to Caitlin Clark, they got some eyes on it, though. But Kobe was going to continue for years to be a huge supporter and a huge advocate for that league. And that was a big deal.
I think everybody knows crystal clear Kobe's going to get whatever Kobe wants. That's crystal clear, man. Brother, appreciate you for coming
Thank
out.
you. What an interview.
This has been a blast. Make
Thank
some
you.
noise. Kobe
What an
Bryant.
interview.
Thank you.
I got a gift for you, man. I want to give you a gift. Hang tight. Let me give you this gift.
All right.
Let me give you this gift. You have it.
They're doing a Kobe chant again.
So first one I'm going to give you is this. This is something that you represent, and we have to go get your size. And it's just saying that post-game, you are now an entrepreneur. So we're giving you a shirt that says, I'm an entrepreneur.
Word.
Okay, that's yours.
Word.
Okay.
Word.
And next one, you said script. So we went and got a Star Wars Force Awakens script signed by J.J. Abrams.
Oh, damn.
Brother, because
That's
you
cool.
know
Man.
the space
Oh, that's
of your
amazing.
studio. I hope
Bro,
you enjoyed it.
thank you.
Truly, I hope you enjoyed
That's
it.
crazy.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on, man.
Thank
Truly,
you.
man. Thank you for coming on.
Thank
It's been
you.
a blast.
Thank you.
Everybody make those. Kobe Bryant.
Thank you.
I love it. Oh, no.
Love, man. Love.
Man, I'm not a fan of Disney Star Wars, but all you Star Wars people down there, you know that's still pretty cool. That's a cool piece of memorabilia, a signed script. What an interview. Well, hopefully now you guys understand why this interview changed my life. And I feel it again. Like, man, this is getting the juices flowing. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know how to describe it because you just went through it as well. Hopefully this made a positive impact on you as it has on me. And hopefully you don't ignore this feeling that you're feeling inside right now of like, I can do more. I want to do more. Embrace it. Embrace it. Stay in the moment with it. Don't get distracted. Don't start scrolling on TikTok or something like that. Feel what you're feeling. Embrace it. Use it. Use it. Let it be the engine. Drive in that direction. Whatever it is that's motivating you right now, freaking go for it, everyone. You know, and I'm going to continue to do the same. I'm going to continue to do the same. Stay motivated. Stay driven. Stay humble. Don't ever get too comfortable. Don't ever think you're the shit because there's somebody else out there that's better. That's why you got to stay on your toes and keep pushing forward, everyone. Thank you so much for celebrating with me. The 24th is now over when it comes to this. We'll be back with some more cool stuff like this next month. And as we head into the end of the month, I do plan on doing some more fun, nostalgic stuff because at the end of the month, I like to kind of treat myself. And that involves some cool, some more funny things that are positive, as well as some cool nostalgic stuff, like maybe like an Inside Stuff episode, or let's do another one of those NBA 90s episodes, which is awesome, and you guys seem to appreciate as well. And it sets a good precedence heading, closing out a month in a positive way, so we can start out the next month of grinding and a positive happy light. And that's what I've been trying to do around here. It's the last 10 days of each month is like pay forward, like appreciation, appreciate Jordan, appreciate Kobe, learn from them, and then let's dip back in the past a little bit, enjoy some nostalgia, some things that make us happy. So we're motivated, we're happy, and then we go into the next 20 days and we grind it out. Whatever it is that you guys are doing, whatever it is that I'm doing, we put our full effort towards it and we freaking get it done. I love this interview. Thank you so much for watching this one with me. This is the most important interview of my life as far as like what I've seen as a viewer. Nothing has changed my life quite like this one has, and it'll continue to do so for many years. So thank you, Kobe. Rest in peace up there. We all appreciate you. Thank you for leaving this knowledge before you left. You officially left us. You'll never truly be gone. And thank you all so much for watching. Like the video, subscribe, hit that bell if you want. It's up to you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the comments. And remember what I said. Be in the moment. Use this, whatever you're feeling, whatever level of drive that you're feeling, motivation that you're feeling right now. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. This whole world is set up for us to get distracted and lose focus. Stay focused. Everyone, peace out.